Welcome to another OCD Recovery Instagram Live. I thought I'd come on here briefly and talk about fear of fear and how we get so scared of being stuck forever. And I wanted to do this short video to talk about that. So basically, what happens is because, look, we've all been through this journey of usually a long time of being stuck and people not understanding it. So it's no wonder we've become scared of being scared, because we've gone from place to place where we've been stuck, and then we thought, oh, they don't understand it and I'm still stuck, and then feeling it latched on, and then fear of fear and so on. But we underestimate the amount that fear of fear latches on. Fear of fear is subtle. It gets it latches subtly and we don't notice it. Even with a fear like where we think, oh my God, I'm really scared of XYZ OCD themed thought. Often it's fear of that thought, and we just haven't noticed that. So that's key. That's really, really key, because this fear of fear sensation keeps us so latched, because what it's doing is you're fighting against fear itself, which is like refueling the fear. So what we have to look at is, yes, we've been stuck for a long time. Yes, we feel like we've just been leaving it there, but we've been leaving it there in a feeling of lumping it, like carrying it on our back, resenting it. Whereas now we're learning to make peace with it, learning to get into it, learning to just feel it, and learning not to internally fight off and resist. And in all our language, you can notice it. Like people will instantly say to that, they'll say, but how do I know how to accept that? How do I know how to take my foot off the gas? How do I know how to leave that there? Because it's a process of learning that. It doesn't happen instantly. It's something that gradually fades into position, bit by bit by bit. When you read the book, some of the books on our reading list that are specifically focused on that, like Claire Week's Self-Help for Your Nerves, like Paul David's At Last a Life book, and At Last a Life and Beyond, another great book with more detail of that. Not on the reading list, but a great second read if you've read those. And what that's specifically looking at is why you are still so scared of being scared and what's going on, and making that relatable to you so you can see what's happening. Because like I said in a post earlier today, it wasn't until I was about 23 till I even met anyone else with OCD. So when you hear, that's why I'm thinking this way. That's why I'm scared. Oh, I am still scared of the physical sensations. Oh, I am still scared of being stuck forever. Forever is one of those irrational beliefs that keeps us so stuck, because it's irrational in the sense it's longer than a lifetime. It's all eternity. It's irrational in of itself. And if we just narrowed things down to one day at a time, can I make it through to this evening? Can I still do things whilst this anxiety is there? Bit by bit by bit, that improves. But we're looking for, like, I need to know, I've got full relief, it's all gone right this second, forever and ever. And that's not how it works. We need to slow that down. With OCD, it's the doubting disorder. We're going to doubt everything. We're going to doubt every part of our recovery. Are we doing our OCD recovery right? Have we done it wrong? Have we stayed stuck because we've thought this or we've thought that? It's going to make you doubt everything. It is the doubting disorder. That's what it does. So we need to slow things down. We need to learn to get comfortable with those feelings as they are. We need to learn to not try and get rid of them and force them away this instant. We need to learn to bring them along for the ride, that phrase that I often use, so that you're not trying to, I've got to get rid of it tonight for my holiday. I've got to get rid of it tonight for my date. I've got to get rid of it tonight because I'm going to a nightclub. Forget that. You're going to have to do those things a bit anxious for now. And if you do that, it takes your foot off the internal gas pedal. That's what's keeping you stuck. Often the way people talk about anxiety, it's very soft and sort of like, oh, it's nothing, it's just don't worry, and very calm and so on. And then you feel often in that moment like, but mine isn't calm. This is really scary, and this is really holding me back, and I feel I'm an exception. But it's all the same thing. It is that. It is fear coming from that belief of, I just really don't want to be stuck forever. I hate this feeling. I don't want this to continue anymore. And then searching, fighting to get rid of it, right? That's what happens with this. That's what happens with OCD. It's subtle. It's so utterly convincing it's something else. It feels like, no, it's not this. It's this thought. No, it's something, I'm an exception. I was utterly convinced that I was the exception. Like, I heard anyone else's OCD stuff, I thought, why are they even worrying about that? Mine's different. Mine's the exception. Oh, all those 99% of other thoughts I had were OCD, except this one. This one's bloody real. That's how it used to feel. So with everything I do and all the work I do with helping people with OCD, I want to help them to see that, look, your experience isn't unique. This is what it is. Of course, it's going to still go and say, no, mine is unique. So we can't come from a reassurance angle there. But I want to show people, look, this is an experience that we all have in one form or another. It's just trying to latch in various different ways that makes it feel the way you're experiencing right now. Now, we're going to be doing lots of videos on fear of fear because it's such an important topic that often gets missed, and OCD is subtle and sort of latches under them. We forget about that one, so we're going to do a lot on fear of fear and fear of the sensations. So there'll be lots of these short little videos covering that from all different angles so that you can see how that's affecting you and how that might subtly be playing a part and you've missed it so far. So we will be covering that, and there'll be a lot more of these short videos. I'll be back on here doing these to help you to see exactly why the cycle plays out the way it does. And we have to get used to uncertainty there too, of just allowing it to play out the way it does, not needing to know exactly why everything's happening the way it is, just feeling that, whatever the sensation, whether it's your heart beating more than usual with the sort of chronic palpitation, anxiety, whether it's a dry throat, whether it's shortness of breath, whether it's an anxious cough. Yeah, we just had a cough there. I've just actually recovered from COVID, and I had a cough that was lingering for about a week. Now, had I been in the time when I was suffering badly with OCD, I would have experienced that cough and thought, my God, that means I've got long COVID, I'm going to die, whatever. Doesn't have that same effect. So, of course, the core fears, which would be fear of getting ill, for example, or dying, those we do often need to tackle. But often there is this subtle fear of the symptoms, fear of fear, fear of being stuck, fear of not getting better, whatever the physical symptom is. Maybe it's can't breathe. Maybe it's the pumping heart with sort of palpitations, weird beats, light pulse, all these different sensations you experience. Maybe it's feeling dizzy. Maybe it's feeling cloudy, brain fog. Maybe it's feeling like you can't concentrate, not enough energy. All these symptoms, right? And OCD is the master of mimicking, you know? Like even with COVID, loads of those symptoms I could relate to when I was really bad with anxiety, because those symptoms are very similar in terms of how they feel. Fatigue, feeling a bit cloudy head, bit lightheaded, these things, very similar. And OCD can mimic this. OCD mimics the flu. People think they've got the flu all the time, especially when COVID came about. So many people coming to me saying, oh, Rob, I can't go into work because I think I've got COVID. And they were doing that all the time because they were utterly convinced that was the situation, when it actually wasn't. It was anxiety at play underneath, mimicking the symptoms very well. And that's a key point too. Fear, it's subtle and it mimics, and OCD mimics very well. Hence why someone with a fear of maybe having HIV or maybe being gay, it will feel as real as it can possibly get, where they're utterly convinced that is what's happening. And anxiety won't be present, which will often, so it will make them more convinced it's real. Oh my God, I'm not even anxious and this is happening. So all of those things to factor in and to think about when we're on the recovery journey, and we'll be doing a lot more videos on that topic. Guys, I will see you on the next video, which will be up in the next couple of days. Take it easy, guys. See ya.